So recently there was this video here from MMObomb talking about Allods Online and their opinion of whether or not the game is pay to win or not, and apparently comments like these generated a lot of controversy.
So taking a look through the cash shop, you don't see anything that's remarkably pay to win.
The reasons stated kind of fueled a lot of controversy, as it seems like the person ignored a lot of factors, for example like the runes in this game. So what we thought we would do is kind of create a reply video just with our personal take.
I agree on that, but I think I will wait out until I get a signal to talk. I'm pretty fired up about the whole thing, so...
And I think one of the most interesting clips here, I think people mentioned it here when they saw it, was you can see here he kind of mentions you want to buy these experience tombs, for example, because this game is really grindy. Is that what he said?
You are going to want to spend money on codexes of knowledge at the very least, because Allods does get grindy.
And you can see here he's basically fighting these mobs that are extremely lower level than him, and even you can see when he killed a mob he didn't get any experience. So it really makes you wonder, like, did this guy actually does he really play the game, or was he just like fed information on what, you know, say what the company wanted him to know?
Well, I think the problem is he's given that he's level 20, but the thing is the majority of the game's population isn't level 20, so his views aren't going to apply.
We discussed in the previous video what runes do and the difference it could make when you turn it on or off. So if you guys want to reference them back, you can basically just click on this link here and you can watch our previous video. But for those, we want to basically show you guys just how much these runes can cost people. So basically in this game, the way you upgrade your runes is you have to buy these items from the cash shop called crystal chips. And as you can see, you can get about 500 crystal chips for 3,000 G potatoes, which equals to about $30. And to make your runes, essentially, you need X amount of crystal chips as well as other items to make this. So just some simple math here. On average, let's just say on the server or in the game in general, to be competitive, you need about all level 7 runes. So based on the math here, for a level 7 rune, you need approximately, what is it here, $240 US to get this. Doesn't sound too bad, right? For some people, I guess. But still, in many ways, it's pretty expensive. What would you say?
It is pretty expensive compared to other games out there that is subscribe based, and it's only gonna cost you what, $10 a month compared to this one.
And to basically, if you want the max level runes in this game currently, which is a level 13, you need about 29,000, is it? No, you correct me, 291,582 crystal chips, correct?
Correct. Divide that by 500 to get how many bag of CC you need to buy from the item shop, which each bag of CC costs you $30.
That equals a whopping $17,520 just to make a full set of level 13 runes.
It's just the maximum level. Some will say wait for a sale when like these CCs are going for this amount of gold or this amount of dollar, but either way it's gonna cost you. Like, they're not gonna drop in price to a ridiculous price that they're not gonna make any profit out of it. The lowest price was 21 instead of $30, so $21. Still expensive regardless, you know.
Now, one point that was brought up was that you don't have to have these cash shop items and that they're just player dependent. For example, you only really need them if you're in a demanding guild that wants you to have all these cash shop items. But what I think they kind of neglect to say is a lot of this game, they do not actually distinguish people. For example, a guy that uses a lot of cash shop items versus someone who doesn't when it comes to things that are PvP oriented. So you could be smack in the middle, for example, with someone that has full level 13 runes, for example, who just has such a huge competitive advantage that you can't really compete against them regardless of what you try. And in that sense, it makes the game extremely unbalanced.
Yep.
And here's just a funny example of a clip where Eartha is doing what was called Melting Isle, where players, anytime they can pretty much enter this place and get these treasure chests. And basically it is a player versus player environment. As you can see here, Eartha is taking on almost a full party of imps, for example.
All I can say, man, like as bad I might come out in this, is the runes and plus the experience that I have in the game. Other than that, if they were equal level, equal experience, they will have, you know, they have the upper hand. But runes play a big factor in this game, so
yeah, of course. So like in this, you can argue, for example, like even I'll say it obviously takes skill and know-how to do what he's doing here, because if you don't know how to play, then it doesn't matter how many items you have or cash up items, you're still gonna die, so to speak. But when it comes to a situation like this, where someone knows how to play their class, knows how to play the game, those runes give you a huge advantage. I don't know many other games, for example, where you could do that, where like 10 other players are going after you and they can't even touch you, all because of a cash shop item.
they've been trying to get all the stuff, like the other topic we've been talking about, the Patrons 5. This is one of the new releases of the item shop. I've been playing this game for 2 years plus, so I think I experienced like the ins and outs when they released the, what do you call that pack, the G-pad pack with the holy charms and whatnot. I think I know a fair bit about how this game mechanic works.
While there are a lot of other cash items to talk about, one of the biggest complaints sometimes is regards to what's called radiant boxes in this game, where you can randomly obtain items. For example, recently there's these Overlord strong boxes. They're basically mounts. They can help you move faster, give yourself a tactical advantage over other players. And as you can see, it costs about $2 to buy per box, and there are literally people that buy hundreds of these boxes. For example, you can see in this screenshot, there's people that opened, for example, 200, 400, and 600 of them. I mean, you're talking about people spending 4 figures worth of money in order to compete in a video game. And these examples actually with how much money people spend like on these ruins of these boxes are just an example of how many people say this is why some free-to-play games actually make more money than subscription-based games, because there are people that spend a ridiculous amount of money just to get a competitive advantage over others.
It's fun. I still think the game is fun. I think I'm gonna play it until it's shut down or whatnot. But again, it will cripple it if they end up just focusing on the item shop like the way it is right now.
And for us, I'd say we do this because as well, it's not necessarily about criticizing so much as opposed to being just a little bit more transparent about the way the game is. Because I know some people, even from our comments from some of the other videos, they're wondering why is this game always on, say, the top free-to-play list, for example, but the population just doesn't seem to match up with it. And I would say videos like these from the mainstream media, for example, is kind of the reasons why they don't really play the game at all. They just judge it based on generic information. So when people see it, they judge, oh wow, the game can't be like this because this guy said it can't be. But then when they actually get in the game, it's a completely different story. So I think it's more about educating people what it really is like, and then afterwards when they come in, they at least know what to expect. And in my opinion, if the game isn't generating the population that they kind of want, then the developers or the publishers kind of have to sit down and take a hard look at the game mechanics in general, on how cash up dependent or game breaking it can be when it comes to these items.
I agree on that one as well.
Alright, until next time, I guess.